Hello everyone, we are the group 4 and we will be discussing about the case study number 4. Where did the cry of rebellion happen? Okay, but what does the cry of the rebellion mean? Okay, at this point in the Philippine history, we called it the cry of rebellion, where Andres Bonifacio and a number of Katipuners tore their cedulas, signifying their protest against the Spanish colonialism. Okay, now when we say the cry of the rebellion, it means kadaghanang tao, no, kadaghanang tao nga murag nagkahiusa nga nagsulti og yes, they are protesting. It's like opposing the government, no, nga kanang ilahang naga-under nila or something ingon ana, like they're protesting against the Spanish colonialism. Murag ni oppose sila sa katong mismong nagsakop nila, which is ang Spaniards. Okay, it was followed by series of fierce fighting of Filipino bolos and spears versus Spanish muskets. In ato ka intense kaniadtong history about aning certain event from the past. Okay, but that event was very momentous, no, because it swept the Spanish colonies in the late 19th century, including the Philippines. Okay, the journalists of the time referred to the phrase El Grito de Rebelión, or cry of rebellion. It is to mark the start of these revolutionary events, identifying the places where it happened. Okay? Now, ginatawag din siya ang kani siya nga event, ginatawag din siya El Grito de Rebelión sa mga journalists sa una, which means cry of the rebellion. It's like saying like for example, a group of people who are protesting about their certain person that they're opposing at, they're calling themselves a team or a group, or that certain event or thing that they're doing, they're making names on it. Like for example, it's like saying the feast of the sisters, or the feast of our whole sets or class or something in Anna. Okay. This El Grito de Rebelión, no, it is to mark the start of these revolutionary events, no, identifying the places where it happened. Okay, in the Philippines, this happened in August 1896, northeast of Manila, where they declared rebellion against the Spanish colonial government. Okay, now, kanig siya panghitabo kay nahitabo ni siya August 1896, northeast of Manila. Mo ni siya nga time nga ni-oppose sila sa government or sa Spanish colonialism. Okay? These events are important markers in the history of colonies that struggled for their independence against their colonizers. Alright, now, if we say these events is important in the history, it means it marked good, like it leaves scars in the history of all history. Okay, I'm not saying literally, but nagmark ka yun siya sa history nato, since mao ni siya ang part nga murag nagka si pangalan ni murag nagkagawas or nagka-gain sila og kusog or braveness ba yung tawag na, nagka-gain sila kusog nga mo fight back, murag ilahang napagawas ang ilahang ginatawag nga deep nga sword or weapon para mo fight back sila sa ilahang government na murag gina-abuse sila, na which is not supposed to be our government or the one who will handle us, kay it's not our dugo ra ba or kalahi nato. Okay, so that was wrong, and what they did was right, opposing the government or the colonizers, which was the Spaniards. Okay. The controversy regarding this event stems from the identification of the date and place where the cry happened. Okay, Teodoro Agoncillo, he is a prominent Filipino historian in late 20th century. He is a Filipino historian. He's the one who emphasizes, no? Siya ang nag-emphasize sa kaniadtong event where Andres Bonifacio tore the cedula.
Some writers identified the first military event with the Spaniards as the moment of the cry, for which Aguinaldo commissioned an hymno de Balintawak to inspire the renewed struggle after the Pact of the Biak na Bato failed. A monument to the heroes of 1896 was erected in what is now the intersection of Epifanio de los Santos, Edsa Avenue, and Andres Bonifacio Drive North Diversion Road. And from then on until 1962, the Cry of Balintawak was celebrated every 26th of August. The site of the monument was chosen for an unknown reason. So, Himno de Balintawak, or the Rejected National Anthem. Antonio Escamilla wrote this work in Hong Kong as requested by Emilio Aguinaldo in 1898. However, when Aguinaldo heard the work, he didn't like it for being too elaborate. When Aguinaldo went back to the Philippines, he instructed Julian Felipe to write an anthem instead to replace Escamilla's work. That resulted in the Marcha Filipina Magdalo and later Marcha Nacional Filipina that would ultimately become our national anthem. Only the lyrics of the hymn survived to this day. It was recorded by Carlos V. Ronquillo on an article named Mga Kantahing Bayan, published in the magazine Renacimiento Filipino on August 28, 1910. While he didn't say the name of the work, he did say that it was a hymn and that the lyrics was written by Mariano Ponce and the music by Antonio Escamilla in 1897. So he also said that it was popular among the revolutionaries who went to Hong Kong. With this, we can assume that the lyrics he gave are from the Himno de Balintawak.
The different dates and place of the crime. Lieutenant Olegario Diaz, a Guardia Civil, identified the cry happened in Balintawak on August 25, 1896. Teodoro Calao marks the place to be in Kangkong, Balintawak on the last week of August 1896. Santiago Alvarez, a Katapanero and the son of Mariano Alvarez, put the cry in Bahay Toro in Quezon City on August 24, 1896. Peo Valenzuela, the Katipunan, stated that the cry happened in Pugadlawin on August 23, 1896. Gregorio Zaide identified the cry to have happened in Balintawak on August 26, 1896. Teodoro Agoncillo put it at Pugadlawin on August 23, 1896, according to the statement by Peo Valenzuela. Milagros Guerrero, Emmanuel Encarnacion, and Ramon Villegas, the three researchers, claim that the event took place in Tandang Soras Barn in Gulod, Barangay Banlat, Quezon City on August 24, 1896.
Accounts of Cry. On August 26th, a big meeting was held in Balintawak at the house of Apolonio Samson, then cabeza of the Barrio Caloocan. So, who attended the said big meeting? They were Bonifacio, Emilio Jacinto, Aguinaldo del Rosario, Tomas Remigio, Brixio Pantas, Teodoro Plata, Pio Valenzuela, Enrique Pacheco, and Francisco Carrion. They were all the leaders of the Katipunan and composed the board of directors of the said organization.
Cry of Balintawak or Cry of Pugadlawin. Introduction. The first accepted venue and date was Balintawak, dated August 26. It was in 1963 that it was changed to Pugadlawin. On August 23, through the assurance of former President Diosdado Macapagal of Proclamation number 149 series of 1963, Ambit Ocampo even enumerated 5 different places like Balintawak, Pugadlawin, Kangkong, Bahay Toro, and Paso Tamo in 5 different dates like 20, 23, 24, 25, or 26 of August 1896, August 26 in Balintawak, and August 23 in Pugadlawin happen to be the 2 most famous versions because of the reputations of historians who wrote it according to their sources. The Balintawak version written by Gregorio Zaide and Pugadlawin's version by Teodoro Agoncillo, author of Revolt of the Masses, but there is another account taken from the memories of Emilio Aguinaldo supports Balintawak as the place of the cry, but the date was August 24. Arguments favoring the Pugadlawin version, Teodoro Agoncillo, the Agoncillo book written Revolt of the Masses.
On August 26, in a meeting presided by Andres Bonifacio and Emilio Jacinto as secretary, the leader discussed the timing of the uprising. Then, during the discussion of the meeting of the leader, Bonifacio left the meeting because he sensed disagreement among the leaders regarding the timing of the revolution. He may have felt that his position was not being heard or valued, or that the discussion was becoming too heated and unproductive. Upon leaving the session hall, Bonifacio directly addressed the waiting crowd outside. He spoke passionately, informing them of the ongoing argument among the leaders regarding the timing of the revolution. Bonifacio emphasized that the danger faced by revolutionaries, citing the execution of their countrymen in Bagumbayan. He warned that if they were to return their towns without initiating the uprising, he would be targeted and shot by the Spaniards. The people, moved by Bonifacio's words, shouted in unison, declaring their readiness to revolt. Bonifacio asked the crowd to give a pledge symbolizing their commitment to join the rebellion. He proposed that they destroy their cedulas, symbolizing their readiness to sever ties with the Spaniards. Then the citizens destroyed their cedulas to rebel against the Spanish colonial government and assert their independence and sovereignty. The destruction of the cedula represented a rejection of the government control and willingness to break free from the Spanish authorities and join the revolution.
As Andres Bonifacio told the people that the leaders were arguing against starting the revolution early, and appealed to them in a fiery speech, in which he said, "You remember the fate of our countrymen who were shot in Bagumbayan. Should we return now to the towns? The Spaniards will only shoot us. Our organization has been discovered and we are all marked men. If we don't start the uprising, the Spaniards will only get us anyway. What then do you say?" So Andres Bonifacio, after he sensed some disagreement of the leaders that naiyahang ka meeting, nihawa siya dali-dali, diba? Then he faced the crowd, the people, and told that speech. So the people shouted as one, Revolt. Okay. Bonifacio then asked the people to give a pledge that they were to revolt. So, nangayo siya og kanang, for example, proof or kanang murag, something like that, nga nag-represent nga ni-revolt gyud. He told them that the sign of slavery of the Filipinos were the cedula. Okay, the cedula task charge with each citizen. Okay, he told the people, if it is true that you are ready to revolt, I want to see you destroy your cedulas. It will be a sign that all of us have declared our severance from the Spaniards. So, diri na nga time nga murag ni Shagit na si Andres Bonifacio og punete ng sedula. Diri na nga time nga gipanggisi na mga sedula sa mga tao, which is a sign of revolting against Spaniards. Okay.
Pag Agosto 26, si Emilio og si Bonifacio nakatigom sila og sa ilang mga leader nga si Teodoro Plata og si Recio Pantas og si Pio Valenzuela sa pagsugod sa revolusyon. Diyon nakamatikod man si Bonifacio, wala sila nagkasinabtanay, moto ni hukom siya magpaabot na lang sa panon.
Pio Valenzuela was a Filipino revolutionary and one of the key figures in the Cry of Pugad Lawin, also known as the Cry of Balintawak. The event took place on August 23, 1896 and marked the beginning of the Philippine Revolution against Spanish colonial rule. Valenzuela was a physician by profession and was involved in the underground Katipunan movement, which aimed to achieve Philippine independence. He played a significant role in the organizing the revolution and was one of the trusted associates of Andres Bonifacio, the founder of the Katipunan. During Cry of Pugad Lawin, Valenzuela, along with Bonifacio and other revolutionaries, gathered in a house in Pugad Lawin, now known as Balintawak, to discuss their plan for a revolt against Spanish rule. It was during this meeting that Bonifacio tore up his cedula identification certificate as a symbolic act of defiance, inspiring the other revolutionaries to do the same. The tearing of cedula marked the beginning of the revolution and initiated a series of uprisings throughout the Philippines. The Cry of Pugad Lawin served as the catalyst for Filipinos to unite the fight their independence. Pio Valenzuela involved in the Cry of Pugad Lawin and his dedication to the cause of Philippines independence made him an important figure in Philippine history. His contributes, along with those of other revolutionaries, ultimately lead to the establishment of the First Philippine Republic in 1899 and the eventual end of Spanish colonial rule in the country. So, Pio Valenzuela ay isang revolusyonaryong Pilipino at isa sa mga pangunahing tauhan sa hiyaw ng Pugad Lawin, nakilala ring bilang Cry of Balintawak. Naganap ito noong Agosto 23, 1896 at merekahan ang pagsimula ng revolusyonaryong Pilipino laban sa kolonyal sa paghahari ng Espanya. Si Valenzuela siya ay isang manggamot at kasama siya sa isang kilusang lihim ng Katipunan na naglalayong makamit ang kalayaan ng Pilipinas. Malaki ang natulong ng organisa at kasama niya ang kanyang pinagkatiwalaang si Andres Bonifacio na siyang nagtatag ng Katipunan. At nagtipon si Valenzuela kasama si Bonifacio sa hibik ng Pugad Lawin para pag-usapan nila ang kanilang plano sa isang pag-aalsa laban sa mga Espanyol. Sa kanilang pagpupulong, pinunit ni Bonifacio ang kanyang sidula. Ang sidula ay sertipiko ng pagkakikilanlan. Kaya niya ito pinunit para simbolo ng kanyang pagsuway at nagbigay ng inspirasyon sa iba pang mga revolusyonaryo na gawin ito. At sa kanyang pagpunit ng sidula, ito ay marka ng simula ng revolusyon at nagpasimula ng serye ng mga pag-aalsa sa buong Pilipinas. Ang sigaw ng Pugad Lawin ay nagsisilbing lista ng Pilipino nang sila ay magkaisa at kanilang ipaglaban ang kanilang kasarinlan. Ang pagsangkot ni Pio Valenzuela sa hibik ng Pugad Lawin at ang kanyang dedikasyon sa layunin ng kalayaan ng Pilipinas at ito ay naging mahalagang figura sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas. At ang kontribusyon at ang kanyang kasamahan sa revolusyonaryo at sa huli ay nakamit nila ang pagtatag ng unang Republika ng Pilipinas noong 1899 at ang wakas ng kolonyal na paghahari ng mga Espanyol sa bansa.
The thing you are referring to is known as the Cry of Pugat Lawin or the Balintawak Cry. It was a significant event in the Philippine history as it marked the beginning of the Philippine Revolution against Spanish colonial rule. During the meeting at Pugat Lawin on August 23, 1896, around 1,000 members of the Katipunan, a secret revolutionary society, gathered to discuss whether to start the revolution against the Spanish government. Among those present were notable figures such as Andres Bonifacio, Emilio Jacinto, Bricio Pantas, Alejandro Santiago, Ramon Bernardo, and Apolonio Samson, along with many others. The discussion was focused on whether or not to initiate the revolution on August 29, 1896. It was a passionate debate, and various views were exchanged during the meeting. Ultimately, the decision was made to begin the revolution, and after the meeting, many participants tore their cédula certificates, a form of identification issued by the Spanish authorities, as a symbolic act of defiance against Spanish rule. The meeting at Pugat Lawin and the subsequent tearing of cédula certificates became iconic moments in Philippine history, symbolizing the Filipinos' determination to fight for their independence and their willingness to sacrifice for the cause. The cry of "Long Live the Philippines" became a rallying call for the revolutionaries, and it marked the start of a long and arduous struggle for freedom from Spanish colonial rule.
From the eyewitness accounts presented, there is indeed marked disagreement among historical witnesses as to the place and time of the occurrence of the cry. Using primary and secondary sources, 4 places have been identified: Balintawak, Kangkong, Pugadlawin, and Bahay Toro, while the dates vary in 23, 24, 25, or 26 of August in 1896. According to the sources, 4 different places have been identified as potential locations for the occurrence of the cry: Balintawak, Kangkong, Pugadlawin, and Bahay Toro. However, it is unclear which of these places is the accurate location due to conflicting testimonies. Furthermore, the dates associated with the event also vary. The sources indicate that the cry could have been taking place on either August 23, 24, 25, or 26 in the year of 1896. Valenzuela's account should be read with caution. He once told a Spanish investigator that the cry happened in Balintawak on Wednesday, 26th of August in 1896. Much later, he wrote in his Memoirs of the Revolution that it happened at Pugadlawin on 23 of August in 1896. Such inconsistencies in accounts should always be seen as a red flag when dealing with primary sources. According to the statement, Venezuela initially told a Spanish investigator that the cry occurred in Balintawak on Wednesday, August 26, 1886. However, in his later writing, specifically his Memoirs of the Revolution, he claimed that the event took place at Pugadlawin on August 23, 1886. So, when evaluating historical events, it is essential to critically assess primary sources, considering any inconsistencies, biases, or potential motivations that may affect the accuracy of the information.
According to Guerrero, Encarnacion, and Villegas, all these places are in Balintawak, then part of Caloocan, now in Quezon City. Balintawak is not located in Caloocan, but rather in Quezon City, Philippines. It is a distinct in Quezon City situated in northern part of Metro Manila. Balintawak is known for historical significance as it was the site of the Battle of Balintawak during the Philippines Revolution against Spanish colonial rule. The battle marked the start of the revolution in 1986. So, as for dates, Bonifacio and his troops may have been moving from one place to another to avoid being located by Spanish government, which could explain why there are several accounts of the cry. So, mao ni siya. Bonifacio and his troops might have been pursued by the Spanish government for personal reasons, such as seeking revenge or retribution. Moving from place to place would make it harder for their enemies to track them down and harm them.
And that would be all for this video. I hope you learned something from our report. And once again, we are Group 4. Have a blessed day.